Thanks, Leon.
Underground Sports Philadelphia.
Restaurant. I would do that for sure. Good for him. He's a hero. I mean that unironically. That is true
Dedication.
That is king action right there.
So, soaking in bean dip.
He better be getting like free food for like
right
a month at least.
Watch it be free beans.
And you know what? He is probably half bean now, having soaked so much.
Some sort of bean gene now in his DNA.
I knew it. I knew it.
Wingardium Leviosa.
That was great. That was the best one yet. It was just funny.
It's Marvel Zombies. We just got done watching Lil Nas X skateboard and we were cracking up. We've been cracking up all night. It's KB coming at you from Underground Studios. And to my left, in studio, the one and only DJ is in town. What's going on, man? Welcome to the Underground.
Dude, I'm happy to be here. Philly, submerged. The city's submerged underwater, but
what a
so
perfect
far.
time for you to come to Philadelphia just when it just goes underwater. It's like it's like back in the day, if it really existed, showing up to Atlantis and it just sinks. That's exactly what happened to DJ as he landed at like 9:30 in the morning.
Yep.
He's like, yeah, I just got all these notifications that Philadelphia's underwater.
And I was like, oh, I'm not doing anything this weekend.
Did you take a submarine here?
I'm literally what I said at the top when we were talking about this. Give me the easiest path to the finals.
And our guy, Hector Neris, named the closer.
He deserved. He's our king. DR Matt was certainly on display. He had DR Matt is definitely a different person. He had a time.
Matt, I think it's time for the weird story of the week, and we'd be silly not to talk about cinnamon toast shrimp.
This is just the most absurd story I've ever heard in my life, and it gets
weirder by the minute.
I didn't know that this guy was Topanga's husband.
Yes.
And when I found out, I was like, "Are you serious? Like, you gotta be kidding me!" Listen. I'm not saying this guy's lying. I don't believe that he is. But I also just genuinely can't wrap my head around how shrimp tails end up in Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I just can't process that. I really can't. Like, someone had to have just, like, been, like, messing with this, like, specific box. I couldn't... it's so impossible to believe for me.
It is one of the most bizarre stories.
God, Cinnamon Toast Crunch is such a good cereal, too. That's what's a bummer about this. Like, I don't eat a lot of cereal, but, like, I'm quite fond of Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Picked up the guy, Pat Pitts.
We are officially partnering up with the good people at Play Pickup, one of our favorite non-fills, since I brought up the Reds, Nick Castellanos. What an absolute legend.
He's living some kind of life, isn't he? He is, baseball Twitter isn't really as active as, like, NBA Twitter, and, but, like, he is the face, I think, of baseball Twitter. I saw an interesting question posed. Does he, like, know? Does he know?
Did you see the response?
No, I didn't.
I believe it was Mrs. Castellanos said, yes, he does.
Dun, 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 dun.
What we got to get into is the Philadelphia Eagles, and they are headed to the playoffs, not in the seed that I expected them to be in. And now we get to face Tom Brady in the first round of the playoffs, which has never happened, obviously, because now Tom being in the NFC. I feel very good about this matchup of the Eagles against the Bucs. I truly think there's an opportunity for the Eagles to go into Tampa and win this game.
Could we see the Niners upset the Cowboys? Absolutely. Oh my God, no fucking way that just happened. I don't know if you know this, Kyle, but I do have a job now. I make money. It's great.
If it's the same way it is now, the 3 versus the 6 seed is playing in the CBS/Nickelodeon game. Pick a movie, keep one actor, and the rest are played by Muppets.
Okay. Endgame, Thanos is the only actor you keep.
I knew you were going to say that. It continues to swirl around, Matt, and if it happens, I will stop at no length to get this man on our show. Nick Castellanos is being thrown around in Philly circles like no other.
If we get Nick Castellanos,
I will buy season tickets just to sit behind that man.
I have not in my lifetime gotten a name on the back of a Phillies jersey besides a Lenny Dykstra secondhand jersey that I bought for the hilarity of getting to wear a Lenny Dykstra jersey to games. And how fun that is for me. Because what a psycho. However, if we get Nick Castellanos, the day he is signed, or at least the first day that is available on the website, I am getting a Castellanos jersey.
Ridiculous, bonkers, absurd games that we saw, I believe, in recent memory was that Vancouver, Colorado game. Where do we introduce this new segment?
New segment, Georgia. I'm sorry.
The Dan Russo Show is back underground for season 4. I will be doing the TV play-by-play for Vineland football this year.
Many are calling you the Joe Buck of South Jersey. That's just what I've been hearing.
Digital platforms, show the screen. Hell yeah,
It's been nice to watch, even as stressful and annoying as it's been nice to come out on top in the end with those scenarios. Because typically these aren't games Sixers win without a beat.
Right. It's been a good twist. It hasn't been like a soul-crushing twist. It's been a real positive one. Like, he's alive at the end, right? He made it through. It's like, like when Captain America wakes up at the end of the movie and he's just been frozen. It's like, oh my God. What are you going to do? Montreal didn't deserve... I think it's because they're Canadian, so, like, no one really,
correlates it.
But, like, stolen franchise... How can you be, like, happy about a stolen franchise? You can't.
Pirates.
Sad.
The only Pirates that should be in baseball are Pittsburgh.
Right. Well, that's debatable, too. But.
Very true. Steven Schneider said, get hashtag stolen ballpark trending.
Listen.
Let's get on it. If we get Jack Fritz involved, the
was
cliffhangers in Squid Game, if this show was week to week, we would all be pulling like our skin off our bodies from like how stressed we would be. It makes the WandaVision like please stand by look so minimal.
The announcer, like Tony Romo, like helped announce it. He goes, and
JD, please clip Pitts fighting that burger.
Wait, what?
He has to clip Pitts fighting that burger.
So Tony Romo is coming.
I'm hungry. I don't really want.
That was like the most
I
in-love fight
myself-
I've ever seen.
Dude, I starve myself all day so I can have this very, very delicious meal. For
You are in love with it. Eyes were closed, mouth was wide open.
Like, am I supposed to just wait until like the curtain gets pulled up? It's like this has all been an
Where's Ashton
elaborate joke. Here's your money. We cannot believe you sat through all. Like Donald Trump is your president, and you were just like, yeah, I guess this is just how it is. Like Elon Musk was on SNL and said he's gonna go to Mars, and you were just like, yeah, that makes sense.
Pushing a meme coin.
Bitcoin. What is that? You thought that was real? You actually thought Bitcoin was real? No.
It's in the name. It's a bit. I think it only gets worse when you have MLB announcing a cryptocurrency partner.
What the hell is with the cryptocurrency?
I don't get it. They announced that, and
hey kids, we heard you like Bitcoin. Here's our coin. It's called Smash Coin. What is it called?
It's Manfred coin.
Manfred coin. No, it's called something terrible. It's like ball coin.
And it's like, you're announcing this. They're gonna have like this company's patch on the umpire jerseys.
Cryptocurrency just feels like a Ponzi scheme.
Oh yeah,
or like it's so much like
it's like baseball. You dealt with this already with the Madoffs.
It's like an MLM, like it's like instead of like, hey boss babe, like in your Instagram, it's gonna be like, hey bro, I see that you like sports too. How about you buy a ball coin? It's like constantly just dudes like, I don't know, is this legal? Like is cryptocurrency legal? Because it feels illegal.
Buddy got swindled by Daryl Morey, and now he's buying crypto and NFTs.
It's the dumbest. Just the dumbest thing. The gorillas already did this. That's what I don't get about this, like, the crypto monkey thing. It's like, this is just the gorillas rebranded. Is it not?
It feels like it.
Am I the only one that's noticed
It's
this?
like fucking rat fink.
It's just stupid.
There's an over-under for you. How many NFTs does Tobias buy? Is it more than his...
He's making, what, $400 billion from us this year? He's got plenty of money.
What's more, Tobias's rebounds and assists average combined, or the amount of NFTs he buys?
How many books has he read?
How many books or how many NFTs? How many books on NFTs has he read? None, because they don't exist.
I'm sure someone has gotten to the grift and has made a very poor book on NFTs.
Did you also see the...
I can't wait for Tobias and Daryl Morey to be at a congressional hearing in like 7 years about NFTs and how it's all a Ponzi scheme.
Well, I saw
That's what this all is, right?
Totally.
NFTs are just money laundering.
It's got.
There's no like.
What's worse, mattress stores or?
Because mattresses at least serve a tangible purpose.
Yeah.
I could sleep on a mattress.
That's valid.
I have a use for a mattress. Even when my mattress that I have is no longer for me, it could just be, you know, my guests can sleep on it, or I give it away. I sell it. It gets repurposed some way. NFT, like, I'll never understand it.
DJ, how's the flight?
The flight
or the boat trip?
It was a lot easier than that drive to Boston. A lot easier than the flight to Salt Lake City, which don't straight flight to Salt Lake City from
I didn't realize you straight flew.
Oh, I will never again.
Woo!
That was the
What
longest.
was worse, the Boston drive or the Salt Lake flight?
I'd have to say the Salt Lake flight, because like,
wow,
it was like 4 straight hours of like being in the telephone booth.
True.
Whereas, you know, I had a little bit of space when I was driving. I could get out. I had to get out and pump gas here and there, get food. So I had like time to stretch. Whereas you're just on a plane for 4 hours.
And everybody knows our trips to Boston, respectfully, were not great.
No.
Both of us.
I ask myself all the time is, how did we get here? How did it end this way? You know? Carter Hart, this isn't about you. All right, sweetie? You're doing amazing. All right? You're trying your best.
The Phillies, they might be down, but the Mets, they're real down.
Unbelievable drama. I mean, straight off of Broadway.
Cut out.
Not that the Mets would know, because they're barely in New York.
Yeah.
But
My good friend and the right fielder from the Philadelphia Phillies, this year's National League MVP, Bryce Harper.
Hey-oh! Ding, 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 ding! 46-yard hole out to get started with CC, and that is the 3 under, baby. Let's fucking go.
Like I told you before recording, like, give him the hard hat right now. Give it to him. Like, I mean, he's going to be that guy who's going to come in and put the whip snakes right back where I don't want them to be, at the top of the league. They're going to be a definite championship contender with him. Like, they were already almost there last year without him, but he's just that guy that he's one of, I shouldn't say one of the few, but he's the only short stick defensive midfielder right now that I feel 100% can go on an island and I wouldn't be.
yeah, it's the Mets. Some of my greatest childhood memories are them choking down the stretch.
It's the best.
Like, they're just, we know that they're going to wilt. It's just in their DNA. They're, you know, they say that the cicadas are coming, like it's every 17 years, whatever. Like, that's the Mets. It's like,
apparently the cicadas are coming though.
Listen, I have never been more informed about a subject.
So I feel like the weekend, flashing lights. We're currently on the back of a tow truck in my car, and we are headed to the Bronx. Shout out In the Heights again. Shout out my In the Heights cast. And I have to get a new tire and a new rim, allegedly. And then hopefully we'll be able to make our way to Boston. This is absolutely unbelievable. Stay tuned for more. What a way to start our vlogging for Underground Sports Philadelphia.
This feels fucking weird.
Are we going to Disney? It feels like we're on a Disney ride.
It does.
We're
going to Disney World.
We're on Space Mountain right now. Currently being towed to the Bronx by tow truck guy. I feel like I didn't turn my
shout out. Wait, just shout out tow truck guy. What a legend.
Yeah, absolute legend. Super nice guy. This place in the Bronx is allegedly open 24 hours, and I need a new tire, I need a new rim, and then once that gets put on, I don't know how long that will take, how much that's going to cost. This tow right now is about $150 out of pocket.
Woo!
And then we have 3 more hours to get to Boston.
Yes, sir.
We'll see you guys soon.
Well, we made it. We're in a hotel room in Boston, Massachusetts at almost 5 a.m. and we made it.
We did, in fact, make it.
What's going on, everybody?
I've been listening to this podcast about the French Revolution, and what's interesting about the French Revolution is like it's obviously like bathed in blood. It's a very violent revolution. Obviously, the guillotine was a big part of it. And what sucked is some of the first people to die in the French Revolution were just like regular ass criminals. Like dudes who were just like locked up at the completely wrong time for like stealing bread. Like guys that were not counter-revolutionaries. These weren't like the bourgeoisie aristocrats. These were just dudes that were in jail that got taken off a cart and stabbed to death. And it sucked. Shane Gostisbehere is that guy.
Yeah.
He just boarded at the wrong time, man. Because the Bastille Day was yesterday, and Tom Wilson just set it off. And Jesus Christ, it's just the wrong time. The wrong time to be going to the player safety protocol right now. You do not want to be that guy, and he got guillotined.
Old Bishop Sycamore.
Okay, wow. So I read a news article about them today from a former student who said that so apparently the guy who was running the school was cutting bounce checks to places, and he was getting a lot of this money from a church, and he was I guess under arrest for fraud, which I'm sure related to those things. Not totally positive on that, so don't sue me, but that this student that went there moved from a different city to go play football there. They didn't have practices, and they didn't actually have a school.
Yeah.
That dude, that's the MVP. Oh, wow. Okay, I get it now. And he's also just a funny guy. So this is like legit. This is like the first, real media day. And like, I think some of the players were a little bit shell shocked from it, honestly. But I think it's just getting them more used to that, because hopefully that's the new normal.
He's back. The GOAT is back. The Philly Fanatic debacle is over, because the Phillies and the original creators of the Fanatic have come to terms on a deal where the Phillies can now use the original Fanatic, which they could have done back in 2019-2020 if John Middleton just decided to pay for it. But unlike, being the owner that you would think he would be, he addressed the Fanatic just like he does this roster and didn't want to pay up and just decided to make minor changes like he did to the bullpen. And we had that weird Mickey Mouse Fanatic for a year and a half, but the original is now back.
Yeah, it's always good to just drag your feet on something like this and then ultimately submit a year and a half later. It is the end to a very strange timeline in Fnatic history, and I'm glad it's over. I'm glad we have the original one back, and I'm also glad that we don't have to, I won't ever have to see again a picture of the new one with, I want the old Fnatic back, because that was just as exhausting as not having the old Fnatic, was constantly being reminded that the old Fnatic wasn't there.
On the soccer front, I was talking to our good friend and FIFA streamer extraordinaire, Dom Ponteri. He is all in for when Premier League comes back.
Oh, yeah.
The revival of Top Bins.
Listen.
I said, hey, man, we'll game plan.
Well, Dom is very happy that Italy won as well. Dom
Yes.
is our resident Italian, so he was very pleased.
So keep an eye out.
He's not
mid-August.
He's not Dominic anymore. He's Domenico.
Yeah.
He's for the next year at least.
Matt, Top Bins is back.
Yes, it is. Top Bins. We recorded for the first time in quite some time. It was fun. It was very nice being back on the mic with Dom. Welcome back to Top Bins. We'll be bringing you coverage of the Premier League and Serie A. I'm your host, Matt, and this is my good friend Dom. Dom, hello. How are you?
Hey, we're back.
It has not been a long time since we have spoken. It has been a long time since we have spoken in the interest of creating podcast content. However, we are bringing the band back, as they say. The band back for the brand, I should say.
The band back, the brand back. Insert whatever comeback story you want.
Yes,
we're here.
Yeah. The kids are
It's
back.
been a long time, dude.
It has been a very long time. Things have changed since the last time we were doing soccer podcasts for the Underground Sports Philadelphia Podcast Network. We are back to stay this time. We promise, we swear, unless something happens, in which case you cannot legally sue us for it. There is a legal disclaimer at the bottom of this with a nice little asterisk on it. But
yo, before we get started, I do need to show you something.
Show me something.
Yeah, so tell me.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so.
Oh no.
so we got it.
Okay.
We returned the one and got the other one, but tell me how when I got it in the box, it wasn't in like cellophane or anything. And I opened it up and pieces are already taken out and all over the place, and like it's partially put together but partially not, and like most of the pieces are already out, so I don't know what's what number, so it's making it super hard to try to follow along with this.
That's so fucked up.
Yeah, I know.
No, he's just playing Batman. They're actually having a crossover.
Where is it?
Rachel.
Jane.
Oh, do we have to restart the recording?
I think so.
I'm gonna restart it. Welcome back to Top Bins. Going a short little break here. We're laughing because the title for this episode is where the goals all matter and the students don't cheat. Dom, of course, having to deal with some nefarious acting out students cheating on their quiz. Bullets are right there.
I love this. Kyle comes in at the perfect time with the with the title right before we
get that. He is good with that.
Our new guys for our golf division at Getting the Whole Pod recorded their first episode that came out today. Shout out to Steve and John. Literally just hit the ground running, taking the reins for that thing. So go follow at Getting the Whole Pod. They're going to be doing all things golf for us now.
We're back with another episode of the Getting the Whole podcast, part of the Underground Sports Philadelphia Podcast Network. It's KB with you, and we've been teasing it the past couple episodes that have been me and Mr. Pids, but we got some new hosts in the fold, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves for their very first episode, very first time underground. Gentlemen, welcome to your new show.
You know, it's ironic that we get to do this for the PGA Championship and kind of open up on a grand stage. But for those of you who obviously have never heard my voice, I am Stephen McAvoy, the co-host of Getting the Whole podcast. Really happy to be here. Really happy to be a part of the underground. It's good to be here. So excited to get rolling.
Happy to have you, man.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. On that same note, my name is John Mavelli. I will introduce myself as Stephen McAvoy's friend. Steve, a man of many talents. I just want to say, first of all, before I say anything else, thank you, Kyle. Thank you to Pat Pitts as well for kind of, letting us take the reins, giving us this opportunity. And we're definitely going to make Underground Sports Philadelphia proud and really put out some content that you guys can be proud of on a weekly basis. So I'm looking forward to it, and I'm excited.
It's about 25 minutes ago. All right.
Yeah, we just recorded a whole episode before you hopped on.
Hey, all right. Wait.
Steve has to compose himself.
Well, hey,
go ahead, Steve.
This is a big deal. Ben, I don't know if you know this. You were the first guest in show history.
We had one hell of a PLL season in 2021. Our guest this week, hoisting a trophy for the first time in league history. It's the man, the myth, the recurring guest, one of our OG supporters, head coach of Chaos Lacrosse Club and PLL champion, Andy Towers. What's going on, Coach? Congratulations.
Yeah, listen, it's great to be on here with you guys.
All right, well,
this entire episode should have nothing to do with Ricky Fowler. We shouldn't even find a way to bring up his name.
No, exactly. This has absolutely no bearing on anything.
Final thoughts before the big day final podcast as a non-married man.
My message is this: if you are getting married, elope. I'm half kidding, and I mean that. I'm half kidding. Get your like 10 closest friends and family, and just like go to like South Carolina or something, Vegas, whatever city, whatever
Napa.
destination you like to go to. Go on a nice little vacation, get married there, come home, or have a wedding.
Part of our like top 5 list. It's Michael Fassbender, Mephisto.
They're both up there.
Anything related to Stranger Things happens on this show, no matter what we're talking about.
Yes, sir.
Those are our top 3 right now.
Yeah.
With Buena Regional High School and their production of In the Heights, I'm super excited for the movie. It looks like it's going to be incredible. Our run was amazing. Shout out to everybody in the cast, the production team, the crew. It was a total blast. We got interactions on social media from members of the cast in the movie, and the kids are getting a handwritten note from Lin-Manuel Miranda himself.
Wow.
Which is pretty wild.
Frame that.
Emailed to his PR team. My boss name dropped me in the email. I was like, you dirty dog. And he's sending us a letter and everything, which is pretty awesome. So shout out to everybody that was involved in our production and everything. Can't wait for the movie. Comes out in less than a month, June 11th. It's going to be arguably movie of the summer.
I just want to play. So whatever it is, like I said, LSM, short stick, two-way, offense, wings, face-offs, whatever. Like, just give me a chance, and I'll prove to you that like you want me in your lineup. And we left that conversation. He's like, man, that's exactly like you're my kind of guy.
I think you said Macafraud at least 45 times. I'm pretty sure I counted.
We need to send this episode to Brittany. That is her job. She needs to sift through that episode and see how many times I said it. Stephen Macafraud is in Disney this week as Macafraud. Mr. Macafraud on the list of Macafraudness. And I'm even more broke thanks to Stephen Macafraud. This fraud, Stephen Macafraud, Macafraud's bet Macafraud. So Stephen Macafraud though, towards Macafraud's record.
Oh.
Stephen Macafraud has never showed this to you. And from Mr. Macafraud, Mr. Macafraud, top 20 Macafraud, especially Macafraud's picks for Stephen Macafraud. I guess you can follow Mr. Macafraud if you want.
Did you notice her hair changes? Recap. She comes on stage on the scene. Her hair is straight.
Yes.
Poker straight.
Yes. It does.
And then there's a little bit of curl added. She gets to the salon. No me diga.
Dips.
They're doing the shampoo thing. She leaves. Her hair is like curly wet. But then the progression of her hair changes all throughout. I needed to point that out.
Yep.
That's so pivotal. And we, like, Sally and I had a whole conversation, and her mom, Sandy. Shout out to my family. I think the hair issue was a very prominent topic. And even though it may have been subtle, the reason for it was very clear. At least to me,
Totally.
it was definitely clear. Because not everybody would notice that. But I know for me, going back to times where I had to decide, all right, I'm going here. How should I wear my hair? Should I blow my hair out straight? Should I pull it back? Can I wear it curly? Because a lot of times you're judged, or you're kind of like, I don't know about this girl. Where is this girl from, or whatever. So to see her come back from Stanford with her hair straight and then slowly like morph into this different person, with the hair choices, I think is
or not even different, like back to her.
Like back. That's
no
what I meant.
pun
Yes.
intended. Roots.
Back to her roots. Yeah, exactly. Because
everybody on our team knows that no matter what happens in the heat of things, the Tyson situation, whatever it may be, that I'm there to stick up for them. I've got everybody's back. I might not be the biggest. I'm usually the smallest on the team, but I bring a lot of heart and pride into the situation and try to do my best to make sure I'm supportive.
Somebody who could fly under the radar a little bit, right? Where you're sitting there and you're like watching the episode and you, wait a second, is that Fletcher Cox sitting at the bar there? And like, you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of what you want. Like, everyone's going to know when it's Allen Iverson sitting at the bar there, right? But maybe you go with somebody who could fly under the radar a little bit more.
The choreography for that alone
Oh my gosh.
was stupid. The underwater.
I was just gonna say that.
The underwater.
You know, for that tiptoe and we'll get.
Oh my
it's like this
God.
muffled underwater, and I'm
And
like,
listening to the soundtrack, I was like, "Oh, I like that decision to like muffle it like that. That's a good like musical thing." And then you see they like GoPro'd underwater, and I was like, "Oh my God."
Guga's hilarious. I want to be BFFs with Guga.
When she,
everybody needs a Guga in their life.
She growled at who's not. I was on the ground.
But wait, let's backpedal a little bit. Every Latino family knows a Guga. Like by name, not just like the character of Guga. Like I lived, like my mom's friend growing up, her name was Guga. Real talk. Shout out to Guga. And it's so funny, her real name is Carmen.
Matt loves dogs. I wasn't a big dog person before I met my now wife. And so I have become much more of a dog person. But Josh Peck, being the world's greatest human being and being so amazingly willing to like deal with it and roll with the punches. And then once it became Josh, you realized you had this extra comedy muscle, and he was just willing to do kind of anything for the laugh, for the joke, but also just to make the scene good.
We were thrilled to get you, not only because obviously your Chaos Squad goes and defies the 87% who voted against you, and you guys take down the Archers. You guys are going to Philadelphia for the semifinals, but you were just letting it sling in the press conference. And as soon as that press conference wrapped up, I was like, we need Jack on the podcast, like immediately.
Yeah, I mean, for some reason, the Chaos as a group has kind of adopted through social media, through the people that vote for us. We've kind of adopted like an underdog, kind of a scrappy mentality, just in the sense of, it might be because we don't have big names. We got a lot of guys that played at schools you might not have heard of super often, but for whatever reason, we just kind of adopted that kind of scrappy mentality. And, we try to play like that. Obviously, we have probably the most intense coach in the league. So when you have a guy like that in your locker room, he gets you going. Well, and then of course, like I rode the elevator up with AT, and he's freaking hitting me with forearm, jacking me up, just like firing me. And then you can hear in a couple of the questions I'm answering, and he'll just shout in the back like, "Fuck yeah! Hell yeah!" Like something I'm saying, and then like that's like making me a little bit more encouraged. I got some like a reminder in my ear. Yeah, okay, I'll say something a little bit more aggressive. Just start building it up.
If you could have one of these people show up at either the live stream of the show or in person, head of Stanford University, just for the hype of Nina and everything, Manny Ramirez, because Manny Ramirez is in town. Or from the lottery, have Gus, the second most famous groundhog in Pennsylvania.
Oh my God.
Let's go.
Best club in the game.
Onward we go. 16, 325. This is going to be basically a full driver. The moderate greens will stop this. Dead in its tracks. Oh my God. Go in! Go in for an ace! Oh my God! Bullet number 27! It's the second par 4 ace of my career! Are you fucking kidding me? What is happening right now? Ah!
How
This
Agatha
will have
ended
to
up.
do for my tinfoil hat.
I wanted to ask you this too. How would you feel about relegation coming to lacrosse? Because you want to talk about in-season content. Teams getting relegated to like a B tour and an A tour, like people would be losing their minds.
Could you imagine like
just getting on, whoever falls to the bottom. Like, that's the water dogs fall to the bottom. Like, y'all finna get relegated. Y'all finna get booted. Y'all finna get that young boot. I've been hoping. I want relegation to just come to American sports in general.
Did you know?
Tell me.
That the Nordic countries like Sweden, Norway, Finland, they celebrate Christmas on the 24th.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Is there any particular reason for that, or?
I did not ask, but I did. I had one of my followers in my stream. A little bit of knowledge, a little trivia for you. Man.
A little trivia for me. Maybe it'll save your life one day. I don't know. What I always look forward to is Boxing Day. I'm a big fan. And two, especially for Christmas, Boxing Day always has. Again, just to spell this out, here's the clip for Twitter. Sixers signed a deal with
Color Star Technology.
Color Star Technology, which is a weird
artificial
intelligence
for
company
the entertainment industry.
That seems like its main focus is getting celebrities and athletes to do especially a Skillshare thing where they talk about either something
in a metaverse
NFT type sense, all those buzzwords, all those crypto buzzwords. So then we wanted to look up, okay, what else can we find about this company? Because it's very little Twitter followers. There's not
super generic.
The website is in Chinese. You have to translate it, which obviously doesn't help with some of the wording and understanding it. We look it up. We get to a link. This is an article from newstrail.com in April of 2021. NASDAQ-listed company Color Star Technology and Hollywood entity Movie Planet signs co-production agreement for Bitcoin drama Block Story. And a man quoted in this that we looked up, the president of Hollywood-based company Movie Planet and chairman of the organizing committee of 150 film festivals in over 90 countries, Homestoner. Can't find anything about Movie Planet. We try and learn more about Homestoner. Homestoner has multiple LinkedIns. Like at least 5 LinkedIns that all have contradictory dates on when he went to college or when he founded this Pacific Rim Chamber of Commerce. He is also involved with a Chinese billionaire who apparently the way that she amassed all her wealth is under at least some kind of criticism and scrutiny because
from Hong Kong.
The fund itself was ordered to stop because it had
an 8,500%
growth in 5 years and had a 3,500% growth over the course of 18 months. Xiao Ma is closely tied to this guy, so much so that she's an honorary vice chairman of his Pacific Rim Chamber of Commerce, which is a thing that he founded. There's a lot to learn about Homestoner. Can't find anything about Block Story, the movie. This is a bizarre story that I don't know. Again, I think I said this earlier. I don't know if we're being Charlie Day.
We don't know.
And we're just
but we also could have
Pepe Sylvia.
We could have also just uncovered something that.
But there's something here. Red Phoenix and Daryl Morey has some type of connection. And yes, this WAGMI United LLC consortium of other popular influencers and people with financial backing and crypto backing. It's a similar type of model to what we're seeing with the Sixers, and Daryl's involved in that. I just have to think that's probably the route that this is. The Homestoner stuff, the Xiao Ma stuff is funny, and I love it, and I love learning more and more as I go. I don't know that that's firmly connected. But what's interesting is that is one of the only other connections to Color Star that you can find. It's one of the only other branches that this goes.
It's like here's Color Star, and then here's Red Phoenix, and here's the Homestoner brand. Like it's different branches from this centralized weird ass company.
Right. So the Homestoner stuff maybe doesn't relate to the Sixers very much. He just seems like an interesting character, and I legitimately would love to talk to Homestoner.
Yes.
I think I'm going to try and reach out and just see if I can get an email. Get some correspondence with Holmes, because he just seems interesting. And I would love to just get 10 minutes with the guy. But we'll see.
more and more stuff has come out since our appearance on You Know Ball, Matt, and that includes, like we just said, David Villa apparently partnering with Color Star Technology, and just more and more absurdities with this Sir Lucas Capetian character.
They were supposed to launch this app that did not successfully launch. Apparently, the other one is the one that looks very similar, if not the exact thing from the Lucas Capetian. I mean,
it looks like a frontal view of that Lucas Capetian LinkedIn profile picture.
And what I find interesting too is that it's constantly listed as like NASDAQ traded company, which I found through this psycho Twitstock site that apparently Color Star, these boys ended up on the non-compliant list of the NASDAQ listing center. Now, I don't want to speak out of turn because I'm not an expert on this.
Right.
I have to imagine that finding yourself on the non-compliant companies list is not a good thing. Is not a good place to find yourself.
So here we go. We're going to live email Homestoner Jr. Myself and Matt stumbling upon a few of Mr. Stoner's social media profiles and find him and his business endeavors quite interesting to our show and our favorite basketball team, the Philadelphia 76ers. We would love to have you on the show to discuss Ecodomica, Movie Planet, and the Pacific Rim Chamber of Commerce. Hope to hear from you soon, Holmes. Hopefully have you on the show. That would be one hell of a way to kick off 2022. Email is sent. Hopefully we don't get doxxed now by the Pacific Rim Chamber of Commerce. And the email went through. I haven't gotten any returns on, this email address is fraudulent. So we'll see. We have live emailed Homestoner. Maybe he'll sing a song with us on the podcast like he did in that YouTube video.
I would love for the singing sailor to sing for me. I'll tell you that much.
What's going on, Matt?
I am living the NFT metaverse dream.
It is Color Star Chronicles Volume 4.
Very little regulation over cryptocurrency, over these NFT nonsense. Like, it's an easy way, like we've joked about, I don't know, for the last few months, that it's all money laundering and it's all fake and not real and easily manipulated.
The Sixers and Color Star Technology have parted ways. The partnership has been terminated due to breach of contract on Color Star's behalf. Who the hell knows what exactly happened? We probably never will know, but that doesn't mean we're not going to stop talking about Color Star.
And again, I think this just speaks to the incompetence and the negligence of this company, that they're not a very legitimate company, probably overstretched and undereducated on how these things work, and thought that they had like more leeway than they did, or that they had some kind of different agreement that they could just make whatever they want to. Like, I just, it's a bizarre story that I think has reached some sort of conclusion, but there's still more, of course.
Whenever they're listening to our podcast, which we get listeners, believe it or not, which is unbelievable to think about since we only started this podcast last March. We're not even a full year into doing Curtain Talk yet, which is crazy to think about.
It's a fun rivalry to be a part of.
It's like an arms race rivalry.
Yeah, like everybody's like, oh, do you want to see them in the playoffs, or you just want to wait to see them in the championship? We want to play them in the playoffs. I mean, we have to, right? Like, you can't win a championship without beating the Whip Snakes right now.
Well, I love it.
It was like it was the scene. There he is. There's the man, the myth, the legend, Tony Daddy.
Okay, cool. Yeah, see, the thing is doing the thing that it's not supposed to be doing. And yeah, what's up? Hi.
What's poppin'?
Yeah, Blaze is a stud, and we've played against him a couple times, and it's hard to really analyze his tendencies. We just kind of have to play good lacrosse. Some teams kind of shoot those shots that are out of the range or down the alley, low angle, and Blaze just eats them up.
Podcasting is up on the rise.
We're coming to YouTube. That's right. Underground Sports Philadelphia and all of our franchises are going to be available on YouTube in the very near future.
Fucking go! See you guys.